Namaskar, dear seekers, and welcome to everyone. Welcome today to our live stream of question answer. So, any questions you have about spirituality and spiritual practice will be around 1 hour duration. So, of course, you can start already writing your questions in the chat comment. We have some two seekers. We will moderate your questions on YouTube and Facebook. Just before we start, first I would like to introduce myself in short. My name is Syriac. I'm originally coming from France. I'm practicing spirituality for more than 25 years now, and I lived also in India international for more than 10 years. I'm presently in Germany, in the SSRF ashram in Germany. So SSRF, just to share about SSRF, is the acronym of the Spiritual Science Research Foundation. It's a non-profit organization that is registered in Europe, USA, Australia. And the main objective is to make a platform available for people around the world so that they can get spiritual guidance, practical guidance. So for that, we have put in place online spiritual meeting. We have more than 50 weekly online spiritual meeting in English and other languages. And we also have on our website close to 900 articles. So I really invite you to study all our articles, our YouTube channels, and everything is done as I share. It's a non-profit organization, and all the seekers around the world are doing it as their service to God, as their offering. So dear seeker, how we go for the live stream before we start? So before we start with the live stream, we will do for around 2 minutes to achieve some concentration or for the mind to become calm. We will either repeat a divine name or we can also meditate. We will play a small audio in the background, so you can close your eyes. You can do your own meditations, focus on your breath, or repeat if you repeat a specific divine name. And then we will proceed with the live stream. So dear seeker, you can close the eyes now, and then we will play the audio. We will do that for 2 minutes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om
So, dear seekers, we will now start the live stream. We were just, if some of you just joined now, we were just before we start, we did a little bit of meditations and chanting just to calm the mind. So just to share, today's, it is about question answer. Any questions that you have about spirituality, spiritual practice, any experience that you had where you never get any explanation, or something you read on the internet, on our website also, where you have some questions or something is not clear to you, don't hesitate to ask question, and practical question is always best. We have two seekers that will moderate your questions on YouTube and Facebook, and I think already we have received some questions. So just to share, now there is a question from Prashant More. You say, my mobile phone is a very important of life. In fact, it is a creation of God, as we are now joining with satsang using the mobile. But my son is addicted to the mobile. What should I do? He is not listening to my advice. Actually, Prashant, today this is more a worldly question that you are asking. But actually, it is as parents not to be strict or firm. In today's time, parents has been too lenient to their children, and in a way we have to develop virtues, qualities within the children, and as well to teach them how to work on their personal effects as well as us. So for us, we can work on emotionalism because we feel now we can't tell them, and for them we can tell them to working on obedience. So this is some what we call personality defect removal process that can be for everybody, whether you have adult or children's. But of course, for children, we go in a more simple way. Also, how to teach qualities, to develop different quality within us. In today's time, younger generations have not been taught correct values. So this is, you can see with your wife, because it is also some basic things to see how we raise our children. But along with that, one tool that can help the family is to repeat a divine name, because it helps to bring some calmness. Because when we say with anger or reactions, and of course they may not respond, but if we are calm and we are able to speak firmly with no anger, then the response may be better. But just to understand here, Prashant, it's a question of from your side. I can only advise from this aspect of spiritual point, from repeating a divine name in a mind, and as well as how to overcome defect within oneself and inculcate qualities. There is another question from Liuza Zeng. You said, how to overcome doing as per mind. I had difficulty in reducing it. I do not seem sincere to wish to get rid of the defect, as there is some happiness from following the mind. So Liu Zhen, that's a good question, because this is in a way the most struggle in a person is usually a person do as per mind. They just do what they like, what they want, when they want. And a seeker is someone they want to, in a way, overcome, because spiritual practice is to overcome, to reduce the effect of the mind on us. This is what is stopping us not to experience the God principle, our mind, our intellect. So you can see how to chanting is one way. So increasing chanting during activity. Chanting is, for some of you who don't know, is to repeat a divine name in a mind. Just to share, to explain between chanting and meditations. So in a way, the tool is the same. Even the tool is different, but the aim is the same. Is to achieve no thoughts. Meditation is what? Is when there is no thoughts in mind, we enter meditation, concentrations. So similarly, chanting is when we repeat a divine name in the mind, we are able to reduce the other thoughts and to achieve the same state. And chanting can be done anywhere, anytime. As compared to meditation, we need to find a suitable place and time with quiet. So this is something not always possible due to our today activity, and chanting is something that can be done all the time. So chanting is one way, and the other way is, see, we do as per mind. There's another way is planning what we want to do and trying to follow the plan. And also from doing as per mind, we can work also on which defect in me prone me to do as per mind. It can be likes and dislikes also. I like to do like this. So we can work on that. So actually spiritual practice is the way to reduce as per mind, and it takes some time. So some effort is required to work on it, and if it is, that's what I'm saying. A person does what they want and like, but a seeker is someone who strives daily to overcome the effect of the five senses, mind and intellect. So they make effort in these regards. So you can, I think, Jozen, you can increase the step of chanting as well as working on planning and try to follow planning. Similarly, somebody who we don't like to plan, we want to be free, we like to do when we want, but just to understand that planning is an important aspect in our life also, if we want to achieve something in life, but especially in spirituality, if you want to progress, planning is also an important aspect. There's another question from Full Metal Workout. You say, I have self-expectation regarding spiritual practice. Sometimes I feel frustrated and my spiritual practice is very stressful. Sometimes I have expectation that God should help me to become a full-time seeker. What to do? So see, actually, I don't know your real name, Full Metal, which is to say you have expectation regarding your spiritual practice. So maybe you can, I don't know if you are in contact with some of our seekers, whether you are attending some of our online spiritual meeting. If not, I advise you also you can speak to 101, this platform we have made available, where you can speak with one of our seekers and to understand what is your situation and what spiritual practice you are doing. Because it should be sometimes if we put too high target considering our situation, then we feel frustrated. No, spirituality, we have to put step by step and try to put it into practice. So let's say you would like to become a full-time seeker, that is a good aim, but what is the effort that you are making in that directions? So what you can do, I invite you to speak to one of our seekers. We can paste in the comment, in the chat, the platform where you can meet our seekers, or already if you are attending, then you can speak to one of your seekers that you know to explain your situations. There is another question from SS. Initially, adverse times were predicted to end in 2024. As the prediction changed and the year is now revised. So we have shared on our website that what we say positive era will start from 2025 onward, and the difficult time will be until end of 2024. So far, no change as per what we have published on our website is the same. We have not changed the predictions, and we can see in today's time how the situation worldwide, from weather changes, climate changes, between wildfires, floods, as well as the different conflict in the world are just increasing. There is another question from Raman Brar. How can we heal our energy field, especially a hole that is pulling out our energy constantly? Maybe Raman Brar, if you can explain what you meant, like a hole is pulling your energy. I understand, but whether you have something else you would like to share and explain. See, when it comes to our energy field, so just to understand, we have this, the chakras, our 7 chakra, along with the kundalini, and we have this aura that is within us, or this, but in today's time, depending on our spiritual practice, our kundalini system is not awakened and all our chakra are dormant. And in today's time also, negativity in the environment is predominant. So there is this subtle covering, negative covering, that is often obstructing our chakras. So that's why we recommend self-healing remedy, as well as you must have seen on our website, we have different type of self-healing remedies. So one is chanting, that I have already explained, and we have also that nyas. It is and this is specific to the chakras. It's bringing the 5 fingers together. We can paste also in the chat the different articles about nyas, salt water, and box remedy. So nyas is putting, and you can read, putting the, when while chanting or focusing on your breath, you can bring the 5 fingers together and apply on the different chakra. As well, we have this salt water remedy or box remedy. In a way, they do the same action. What they do, they pull. They have that capacity to pull out or absorb this negative subtle vibration that is around us or in us. So through the salt water, this is through the water and salt element, and the box with the ether principle, the void. So this is also an element, and even though it looks quite different, but only when you try and experience by yourself, you may experience something. So of course, see that some people go to some specific class, oh, I will energize your energy field, I will revitalize your aura, and people charge you $100, $200,000. So it is not like that in spirituality. Actually, spirituality should be free, and actually we recommend self-healing because in today's time many people are affected by negativity. So when somebody does healing on us, the chance that we don't know whether it can help us or affect us. So that's why self-healing is the best method. And if you say there is a hole is pulling your energy constantly, as I said, chanting God's name help us, because when we repeat, there is a principle, name, form, and energy coexist. So when we repeat the divine name, we attract that divine energy within us. So of course, as we are doing through activity or where we go, we lose energy. But while we chant God's name, at that time we always gain energy. So somebody usually feel tired or less energy. When they started chanting, they experience an increase in vital energy. So Raman Brar, if you have any questions about what I have mentioned, don't hesitate to keep if something is not clear to you, or if you have further questions about what I've shared. There's another question from SP. You see, how long should I continue the salt water remedy? Doing so far for 3 months now. So it is good, SP. See, it is something we should continue, as depending on, it depends of course of everyone. If someone has, let's say, no distress at all, so sometime, and you are doing chanting, let's say, then maybe doing salt water maybe for some time may be okay. Or you are staying in a area with these positive places. But let's say you are going to different public places often, and then maybe distress, we experience different distress phenomenon. At that time, it is something we should continue. So we recommend usually that doing saltwater remedy, we should continue for around 6 months or so. Actually, it's something we should as a practice, because sometime during new moon, full moon, person experience heaviness. At that time, we can do saltwater remedy. Also, another question is depending on how often you do it, because you are doing for 3 months, but does it mean are you doing it daily, once a day? Then it's you may have experienced something, but if you're doing once a week, that it may not have much result. So like that, just you can share SP if you have any about since how long you are, how many time you are doing it, and did you experience any change since you are doing it. There is another question from Vashali Pavar. So you say very often when chanting is started, it is stopped and thought increase. How to overcome this? You say, I am tired at the end of the day to sit firmly for chanting, so I try to do while I walk. And see, when you say that very often when chanting start, it stop, and when chanting stop, the number of thought increase, if I understood properly. Okay, you said when you start, then it stops, and then you get many thoughts. So you can see there are few ways when sometimes one cannot concentrate. We can listen to the chant. So one is chanting mentally. When there are many thoughts and we find difficult to chant mentally, we can chant aloud also. But if you have in different places or surrounded by others, that may not work or may not be suitable. At that time, you can download also for free the audio on our website. We can paste in the chat the link where we can download the audio. At that time, you can just listen to the audio. So that helps. And so it can be like that also, not to, it's a question of time also, Vashali, that we listen to we chant, then sometime in some days there's an increase of thoughts. Some day it reduces. It takes some time also for the center to be formed in our subconscious mind. And then slowly, the number of thoughts will start reducing. And you can see something else also, Vashali, is thoughts are generated also from our mind. So let's say if I have worry, by example, then I will have many thoughts. So I can work also on overcoming the worry. So this is something, this is overcoming defect of personality. This is something we have on our online platform where seeker can learn this practice. It's simple. We are actually offering all these in those satsang where you can learn those practical steps. So like that, chanting is one way to reduce the number of thoughts, but overcoming defect of personality help us to overcome thoughts also, because see, worry, emotionalism generates thoughts in our mind. And this is a question from SP. You say, gratitude, you feel better than before after doing the salt water. Good, no? So that's good, you are feeling better. Just continue, if possible, to do once a day, and try to see if you can also try to do at that time, or during that time, you can try to do the Nyas remedy as well. If you can try to incorporate also the box remedy, because that has lot of potency. We must have placed before the link about Nyas as well as the box remedy. There is another question from Krizak Andy. I also wanted to ask a question about World War III and your predictions. Which country will be affected in Europe, and when the war will happen? So we have mentioned that in World War III, with many countries, there is some conflict happening, and we can see in today there are conflict happening. We can see between Russia as well as Ukraine, and of course, OTAN is joined. Many countries are looking what they are doing, and some are joining directly and indirectly. As well, we can see other conflict in a world where you have China, Taiwan's many. So like that, we can't say we have not written, just that it will be, and many other series also, Nostradamus, Edgar Case, Baba Vanga, many have shared different predictions. And I wanted just to explain, see, prediction is God through is are just warning us of different times. So it is one through Aztec also, and different series from time to time. I've mentioned more or less similar events that will take place, but it never precise, because in today's time we are born in this part of the world or time that is difficult, and we have to undergo. So in a way, God is just warning us of some time coming, and He will not tell us, see, here will happen. It is, we gave a global predictions of different problem that can take place. And we have shared that in many parts of the world will be affected, some by some war and some by climate change, as we are experiencing also today. There is another question from Ravi Bhatia. Is there a way that SSRF can find out approximately which part of physical or subtle body of a person is affected? Your website says that 60% part is controlled negative by negative energy. Please speak some info about cheating and its negative effect. I'm just reading it to understand again your 2-3 questions. See, just to explain about, for everybody is a bit different depending on the negative entity who affect the person. So as we have shared in today's time, around 30% of the world population is affected by some negative energy inside the person. And depending on the strength, there are many aspects to it. Depending on the strength of the negative energy affecting the person versus the strength of that person, whether they have spiritual energy or not. So whether they are able to control the mind of the person, the intellect of the person. So if they control the mind, they are also able to control some part of the body. So it depends to which extent. Somebody usually who don't have spiritual energy or who are not doing any spiritual practice are not aware. So they may not have control. At that time, it is a negative energy who controls the mind and intellect of the person. And when person start doing spiritual practice, what happens? At that time, the person become more aware, and then slowly, the control of the negative energy in the mind become less. And about Chaitanya, it is a type of negative energy. So there are different hierarchy in negative energy. And Chaitanya is one level of negative energy which is quite powerful. Just to explain, in today's time, negative energy is more powerful. So it doesn't matter, more important is to do spiritual practice, chanting God's name, to do self-healing remedy. And it is in us, once the positivity within us increase. At that time, what happens? Negative energy, whether it affects a person from inside or outside, has to go. As I shared initially, in today's time, 30% of the world population is affected by negative energy inside, and almost 50 to 60% of people are affected from outside, and to different degree. For some can be severe, mild, or medium. But as a person do spiritual practice, then the effect on them reduce. We have many articles on our website. We can go on our sections and we can see many case studies of seekers who have overcome different problems just by repeating God's name or doing self-healing remedy. There is another question from Rudraksha. You said, do you use Quora for Seva? I posted SSRF article sometime. It gotten over 7,000 views and I barely even go on. Definitely a good way to spread the word. I just wanted to share that I'm not aware of Quora. So maybe yeah, I will look into it. But you seems to know about it, because for me Quora I'm not knowing, so I cannot comment on this. But if it is helping to spread the knowledge of SSRF, if some of you likes to help SSRF in different way, our article, our YouTube channel, our social post, also social media on Facebook, or our live stream, I really invite you to freely share it to your friend and family members, or whom you feel someone may be interested, or in some group, different spiritual groups that you may know. There is another question from Efin Aluni. You say, those doing salt water remedy 4 times a day can damage the skin and then influence our feet bones. As my mom members was afraid that it will damage my part of the body, especially the feet. So just to share that 4 times is not required, it is a bit too much, because of course if we keep our feet 4 times a day and salt, it can have, depending, some person may have reaction to the skin, not the bone but to the skin. So usually what you can do 2 times a day is sufficient. So you can do that in morning and evening. At the same time you can use boxes also, or you can do separately boxes. You can do 2 time remedy of salt water and 2 time remedy with box remedy, because remedy, as I share now, salt remedy and box has the same effect. They pull out, they have the same principle of pulling out. Just the difference is salt water is with the element of air, water and fire, and the box is the element of heat. There is another question from Ravi Bhatia. How to get rid of fears? So Ravi, just to share, see, fears is what we call a personality defect within oneself, and of course it can be quite sometimes difficult when we see things around us and we are always consumed by fear. So chanting helps to reduce the number of thoughts in our mind, but that will not overcome the root if we have fear within us. That's what this autosuggestion technique, who comes from the personality defect removal process, helps to overcome fears. And we have many seekers who successfully overcome worry, fear, insecurity, emotionalism. And the technique is to introspect which fears I have. If I have fear of plane, if I have fear of public places, it depends. For everybody is different, the fears. And then you can take a specific autosuggestions. So I will give you an example. When I feel fearful to in public places, I will realize that everybody is friendly, or all is going to be well. So I will remain stable and start chanting. So something like that. It is something that we repeat in our mind. So everything happens through repetitions. Chanting is a method of repetitions. We have learned languages, we have learned tables of mathematics through repetitions. So the mind, subconscious have grown through this process of repetition in one life or many lives. So this we through the process of PDR and autosuggestion create a positive impression or positive stimulus in our mind to counteract the negative fear, let's say. So what happens when the person keeps on repeating, let's say 4 or 5 times a day that sentence, then what happens? That impressions start to get impressed in our subconscious mind. And later on, when the fear comes, then the thought comes to my mind, no, it's okay. Don't worry, all is going well. And then the mind calms down. But we have to work on ourselves. It is something that we have to make the efforts. First to introspect. We can help you to frame the autosuggestion technique. But after it is for you to repeat. So in spirituality, it is not like everything. We have to make efforts. So like that chanting, we have to make effort. Repeating autosuggestion also. But just to say this tool is actually very simple. But it is the mind who have resistance to do it. And it doesn't take long time to repeat a sentence 5 times a day. May take how long? Actually 1-2 minutes for each sentence. So maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a big difference. So Ravi, Bhatia, if you have any questions further about what I've mentioned or any comment about what I share, you can say also. From Pasha, you said another question who come from Pasha. What is the ideal diet for a spiritual seeker? What food is recommended? Prior to start spiritual practice, I had many food cravings, but now I rarely feel anger. So Pasha, see, we have published on our website that we recommend vegetarian food because it helps, it has less negativity, and so it affects us positively. Meat or alcohol can affect our mind, our body. So that's why we recommend, but it is not the most important, because initially the person, let's say, will follow a diet of just eating good food, vegetarian food, but they don't work in themselves to overcome defect within oneself or continue to do what they, as per mind, let's say. So that person from spiritual progress will be limited because diet is related to the body, but of course it has some effect on our mind, because to really make progress we have to transcend the mind. So usually what we say to a seeker, we say, see, focus on repeating God's name, focus on trying to overcome defect within oneself, emotionalism, fear, anger, or stress, because that creates negativity, no? Those thoughts. Stress gives negativity. And then slowly the person automatically will become more stable. Then secondary, they can work also on working to overcome a bad food habit. But that is secondary. If person can do both at the same time, it's good enough. Or if they, but to understand that working on overcoming the mind is important, and automatically what happens when somebody makes spiritual progress, automatically they are able to overcome incorrect food habit or bad habits. There is another question from Liu Zen. And just to go back to Pasha, just we suggest to avoid non-veg as well as alcohol, because it can harm us. It can harm us also, especially alcohol. No? That also it is mentioned by doctors. It affects also our normal organism in our life. There is another question from Liu Jiazen. Can you explain the benefit between satseva, that is service to God, and doing action like cleaning the house with spiritual emotions? Do they derive similar benefit, or the service to God is more higher? So just to share, see, when we clean our house with spiritual emotion, it is something, it is not called satseva. Satseva that we to get benefit, it helps us if we do it with spiritual emotions. It helps us, but to get benefit from satseva, it is something about spreading spirituality or something related to serving God. So cleaning the room makes our room more positive, but translating articles, spreading the message to others, whether it is through social media, that is more counted as satseva. There's another question from Anna S. What goal do you recommend to set at the beginning of our spiritual practice under the guidance of SSRF? How to work toward achieving spiritual goals? That is good questions, Anna. See, again, the goal now, we should set goal ourselves. Ultimately, when we start spirituality, everyone come to spirituality with some different thoughts. Some come, they have desire to make progress. Some have desire to be liberated. Some have desire to overcome problems in life. Some want to be happy, or someone are just curious of knowledge. So everyone has a different goal, no? So we need to set our goal. So that is some goal that you come with. After that is, let's say, that we recommend on different steps of spiritual practices: chanting, satsang, seva, spiritual. Like that, we have overcoming defect opposite. We have 7 to 8 steps of spiritual practice. So here what we can do, we can set small goals. So let's say now I will start to chant 1 hour per day. Then after some time, after 1 month, I will say, okay, now I will try to chant 2 hours per day. Plus I will do half an hour of service to God. Let's say service to God, maybe 1 hour per week. So like that we can keep goals, no? Or after that it can be, I will do 2 hours of chanting per day, and I will try to overcoming defect with half an hour per day, 15 minutes. So like that we set goals and we keep on increasing them. That is something we can do, no, at practical level. But everyone can choose the path depending on your personal situation. If you are at home, and how much time you are available. If you are full-time working with a family, then your time will be limited, no? So you can set goals as per that. But in spirituality, we should keep trying to increase the goals. And after that, see, when we practice spirituality, initially we may come with a goal, I want to be happy, or I want to overcome a problem. But later we realize that in spirituality I can achieve something much more. I can experience bliss, or I can merge with God. So we can change our goals also. So we can set close goal at practical level, and we can get higher goals also. What we want to achieve in spirituality. What is my main spiritual goal? There is another question from Full Metal. Which is superior, devotion towards Guru or Moksha? When I do spiritual practice and pray to Param Puja, what should I ask for among the two? Should I yearn for both? Are both the same? See, just to explain, Moksha is final liberation. This is something, it's a goal. But devotion towards Guru is the one that will lead towards final liberation. So our devotions should be towards Guru only, because this is the one that help us to go towards Moksha. We cannot have devotion towards Moksha because we can't understand what Moksha is, what it means, what is the experience. It is too high. So Guru is the one that will lead us towards it. So when we pray, we should pray to the Guru. We should do our spiritual practice. That is more, also just praying to the Guru without practicing anything doesn't have much meaning. More important is, am I practicing the 8th step of spiritual practice? That is more important. And we go back to Raman Bra, when you asked, no, about you mentioned about the hole pulling out the energy, and you said, like, I was told by a channeler that a negative entity created an opening in my energy field into the abyss. That opening could have felt like a cold vacuum pulling energy out of me constantly. And I understand, Raman Bra, that's why that share now chanting God's name, there is principle, name, form, and energy coexist. So when we repeat the divine name, we attract that divine principle within us, and that protect us. We have done, if I invite you to go through our website, I can't remember the exact article, but maybe in the research section, we have made some study using biofeedback device, and you will see a diagram. It is with by putting a finger. I forgot the name of the machine, done by some American scientist, and some seekers. There was an experiment done where some seeker used to sit in the room where His Holiness Dr. Atavi, the source of inspiration of SSRF, was staying, and they used to chant. They chanted for half an hour, I think. And before that, they were checking their aura field. It's like putting a finger in a box, and it calculates the energy field as well as the chakras. And they did it before and after chanting. And what they saw in the result is, after chanting, of course, because in the room of His Holiness Dr. Atavuli, there is a lot of positivity. So the healing happened very fast. But just the chanting is important. And in the result, it was showing that the chakras who were sometimes not aligned started to become more aligned, and also the holes in the aura started to be closed. Means the aura positivity the aura started to grow. So the holes in some part of the aura became less. And this is a visual that it is also published on our website. If you can see, it is very interesting, but just don't remain on the curiosity level. Repeating God's name is a very effective method and tools. There's another question from Ravi Bhatia. Why is it mentioned in the Bible? Just to go back to Raman Bra, if the two seekers were moderating on YouTube and Facebook, if you can just quickly go to our website on the research, and if you are able to find that articles, I think it is mentioned when seekers were chanting His Holiness Dr. Atavuli's room, must be in research or biofeedback research, that article may be available, and we can paste in the chat. There is from Ravi Bhatia. You said, why it is mentioned in the Bible that perfumes and scents attract negative energy or negative spirits? I'm not knowing, see, Ravi Bhatia, I can't comment because I'm not knowing this point in the Bible. So I'm sorry about it. I cannot comment on that question because I'm not aware of this point. Another question from SS, how to purify boxes? But I will have a look. Just to go back to Ravi Bhatia, I will go through your questions, ask someone, and maybe we can paste it in the chat later. To go back to SS, how to purify boxes used for remedy at the workplace. Incense is not available at workplace, but I want to use box at workplace to finish work quickly and do chanting. So you can see, because box can be purified in few ways. One is, of course, is by putting smoke using incense stick. The other one is putting on the sun. So I don't know if it's possible, similar in the workplace, whether you can put them on the sun, or what you can do, you can collect the ashes from, if preferable, SSRF incense stick, and you can blow inside the box, or you can, because it's important that the incense are not commercial manufacturers, because most of the time there are chemicals and they are done with the commercial aim. SSRF incense sticks are made with a specific connotations that even His Holiness Dr. Attali was studying the component to see that it brings positivity. So they are in a way handmade and they have more positivity. So collecting the ash also has that ability to reduce negativity to some extent. There's another question from, there's some comment, I will just go back to the comments, comment from Rashmi Anand. You share that to know that you are there to guide on the right way, it's of great relief, especially in present disturbed time. Just to share, actually, Rashmi, this is one of the main guidance or the source of inspiration of SSRF, His Holiness Dr. Attali, that is a saint from India, and he, from the beginning, I've said that we should have question answers, because we should know there is an answer for everything in spirituality, because in today's time there is knowledge, there is science, but why and how is not explained. And that's why it remains in our mind, or we don't get practical guidance how to go next in our spiritual journey. So actually, His Holiness Dr. Attali emphasizes the importance of clarifying the questions. So that's why, for that also, we have created a platform on our website of live chat and satsangs, where you can always ask questions and you always get an answer. This is one of our priority, that you can get an answer to your questions or obstacles, so you can progress and go ahead. From Rudraksha, you say, me too, here for Moksha, thanks for the answer and satsang. Thanks to Full Metal Jacket for the warning about posting too many links on the Quora. Okay. I'll go back to Full Metal. It will be nice to understand your name, Full Metal Workout. Earlier I was like, want to attend Moksha. Now I'm having thought, I just want devotion for Guru. So I feel affinity towards the second thought. So I just wanted to clarify if changing my goal from Moksha to Guru devotion is right or wrong. Actually, it is correct. Because see, initially we start spiritual practice, no? There is a desire for God. So we feel what is the highest? It's realizing God only. But when we practice spiritually, we realize it is something we can't achieve or catch, we can't understand. It is too far away from us. Moksha or God-realisation is something we can't understand. But devotion toward Guru is something we can experience. So that is a correct thing, because ultimately when there is devotions towards Guru, we experience oneness, we experience bhav, we experience spiritual emotions, and then we get guidance also, how to proceed towards progressing spiritually. Just looking, just to share, we have the collective meditation every day. It is from Monday to Saturday at the same time, 6 to 7 p.m. CET. So I invite you to join our live stream daily. During this live stream, we all get healing, and it helps us, all of us, to get spiritual energy. And just to share also that in 2 weeks also we will be, or 2-3 weeks, we'll be having the 3 hours collective meditations. I know if some of you already attended, so you are welcome also. I think there are no further questions, and it's good we were able to cover all your questions. So dear seeker, don't hesitate. If you have more questions, you can come to our live chat, and if you like to come to our online platform to learn about spirituality, of how to overcome defect within oneself, experience calmness and stability. So dear seeker, wishing you a blissful day or blissful end weekend, and hope to see you tomorrow then in our collective meditations. Namaskar to everyone.